Hi guys, welcome to another session with us. In today's session, right, my father, used to very often quote a proverb, a one-liner in Tamil, which says, "Teedum nandrum pirar tara vara." What it means is, the good things that happen to you and the bad things that happen to you is not given by any outside source. It is your doing that the good things and bad things happen to you. You reap what you sow. That's what this one liner, this proverb means. So today we'll be seeing 5 interesting points based on this proverb in relation to Hinduism. Okay? Now, um, if you have been a person as a kid, if you had your grandparents living with you, then you are one of the luckiest kids. And I have no doubts that you would have grown up to be or are still growing up to be a well-rounded citizen with very good values in life. Because when we have grandparents, they tell us so many stories, right? Stories about our dad and mom when they were kids, about your great uncles and aunts, about your native place, about your country, then about your traditions, your culture, your religion, about gods. We have so many gods, right? They will tell us a lot of these stories. They would have told us stories about battles or wars between gods and demons, devas and asuras, good people, bad people, right? And in all these stories, if you see, there will be one moral. Predominantly, the good will always triumph over the evil. At the end, the good always wins and the bad always loses. That's how much moral we can understand at that age. And all the stories that our grandparents tell us, that will be the moral we have. So we learn that we have to be good people because at the end we will win, right? So they also told us when we do good things, the good things will come back to us. It'll come back to reward us. When we do bad things, the bad things will also come back to us to give problems for us. When we do good things, our good karma increases. We earn a lot of good karma when we do good things. When we do bad things, we earn a lot of bad karma, and both of this will eventually come back to us. They would have told us that. Now let's see what karma is. Karma, guys, is a simple word in Sanskrit which means action or deed. That's all it means. Okay? Now, though karma is a Sanskrit word, now it's become a very popular word across the globe. Everybody uses the word karma. And in fact, you youngsters have coined a term called instant karma. The other day, one of my friends forwarded a small video clipping, probably for 5-6 seconds, a short video clipping. In that, there is one guy, the good guy, who's watering plants with his hose pipe. He's standing and watering his plants. The second guy, who's supposed to be the bad guy or naughty guy, comes from behind and he hits him in his head, like this. And when he tries to escape after hitting him, he trips and falls down, and it says instant karma. It was a cute video, and it will be really good if karma actually worked like this, worked instantly. The world will be a much more happier and more peaceful place if karma was instant. But guys, karma does not work like this. It takes its own sweet time. When we keep doing good things and earning good karma, eventually in our life, the good karma will come back to us. Good karma or bad karma, whatever it is. Sometimes it takes a whole lifetime, and also it might spill over to the next lifetime. That can also happen. We'll see that in the second point. The second point is to see about this karma spilling over a lifetime. For this, to understand this, a classic example would be the character of Karna, Prince Karna in Mahabharata. Karna, we've all read, is a close friend of Duryodhana, the Kaurava, right? Karna's life was actually very pathetic from the minute he was born till his death. When he was born, he was abandoned or disowned by his mother Kunti. So Karna does not know who his biological parents were. So because of that one reason, Karna was put through a lot of shame, humiliated by so many people. Karna was actually born into the great Kuru clan as a Kuru prince. The Kuru clan was one of the well-respected and most powerful clans of the dynasties of those days, of that period. Though Karna was born into the Kuru clan, he doesn't know that. And since he doesn't know that, he's put through so much of shame all his life. Even at the end, towards the end, Karna knows that Kunti is his mother and he knows that he's born into this great Kuru clan, but he's not able to say that out. Kunti also knows that Karna is her son, but even she's not able to say that openly. How very pathetic and sad, right? That's how life was for Karna. But if you think about it, Karna is a very good person. A very good person, a very humble person. He is good to everybody, respects everybody, and he does so much of charity. Whenever somebody asks him something, he doesn't even think twice. He just gives it to them, whatever it is. So there's one line in Tamil when you're explaining the characters of Karna. It says, "Koduthu sivanda karangal." He does so much of charity, gives so much of things for people. His hands are constantly working, giving things to people, giving things left and right, that his palms are always red because of giving things to people. So Karna is such a good person. What happened to all the good karma then? He would have earned so much good karma, right? By being such a good person, doing so much good for people. What happened to all the good karma? This is when his previous birth comes into picture. In his previous birth, Karna was born as a demon king and quite an evil one. He has tortured and tormented so many good people, so many innocent people. So he earned a lot of bad karma in his previous birth, and in that birth, his lifetime was not enough to cancel out the bad karma. To cancel out the bad karma, we will have to go through certain sufferings, right? We will have to. We did bad things, we'll have to go through all that. So that lifetime was not enough for Karna, so he had to take another birth and he had to go through so much of pathetic things, trouble for the whole birth to cancel out the karma. Then can you imagine how much bad things he's done in his previous birth? Okay, so he takes a whole birth and all his lifetime he goes through so much of trouble to cancel out that karma. Okay, so much we understand. Now, someone has to keep track of what Karna did in his previous birth, right? Only when you know what he did in his previous birth can you see if it's good karma or bad karma, and in his next birth, what is he going to be? Someone has to keep track, right? Not just for Karna, not just for the Pandavas or Kauravas, but for everybody, even for you and me. Someone has to keep track of all of this, right? That will take us to the next point, the third point. If you guys have read Amar Chitra Katha comics when you were kids, I still read it actually, it's very interesting. Or if you still read it like me, you will see a character, you would have seen a character by name Chitragupta. He always comes as a very old person and having a huge book open, right? With many pages, that the records of everybody is in that. Chitragupta is a character who keeps track of everybody's good karma, bad karma, whatever they do, everything is recorded. Now, in reality, I'm not sure if there is a Chitragupta, but we do believe that there exists a record of all that we do, all that every living thing does. A record is maintained, all their good karma, bad karma, everything. It is recorded in the Akasha as Akashic records for every life, for every individual. There is an Akashic record maintained in the Akasha. It's not stored in a supercomputer or anything. We'll see how it's stored. I have read that it's stored as energy. See, we are all made up of matter and energy, and we are constantly giving out some kind of energy all the time. When we do good things, when we are happy, when we are in a very good mood, when we are excited, certain frequency of energy we give out. When we are sad, a particular frequency of energy. When we are angry, when we are doing something bad. For every emotion, for every thought, for every action, there's one particular energy, particular frequency that we all give out. So we're constantly giving out energy in different frequencies. This energy is what is stored in the Akasha, in the Akashic records. Okay? This is the third point, Akashic records. Now, when a person dies, then it has to be decided what happens to the soul, right? Whether it's going to go to hell or heaven, or what happens to it. That will take us to the next point, fourth point, where we are going to see about what is heaven and what is hell in Hinduism. Before we get into that, I want to say 2 points here. The first point is, unlike other religions which has only one heaven and one hell, Hinduism does not believe in that. There are many heavens and many hells. Okay? That's the first point. And the second point is, none of these heavens and these hells are a permanent place. They are all temporary. These are the 2 points I want you to remember when we talk about this, more about heaven and hell in Hinduism. Okay. Now, the goal of every soul that takes birth in this world is to ultimately unite with the Paramatma, unite with the Supreme Power, unite with Almighty. That is the ultimate goal of every soul that takes birth in this world. Okay? Become one with the Paramatma. Now, that cannot just happen instantly, right? If there is a child, and the child, ultimate goal of the child in his education is to complete his PhD, the child can't immediately go start writing the thesis and take the Viva OC, the final thing. It cannot do that, right? It has to go through kindergarten, elementary school, middle school, high school, undergrad, postgraduate, and then the doctorate, right? There are little things, step by step, the child has to learn. Same way, when the soul is born in this earth, every birth, it has to learn certain things. It takes birth many times until it has gone through a lot of experience and learned all that it has to learn, and it is made completely ready to unite with the Paramatma. It is so pure, right? Then it can go unite with the Paramatma. So many births are taken by the soul. Now, when I am here in this birth as Sundari, I will not remember what I was in my previous birth. I will not know, right? But when a person dies, the soul can go and the soul will remember its previous births. What all it did in its previous birth. The good karma, the bad karma. What more does it have to do? What all should it do? What are the other things involved such that it can go and unite with the Paramatma? A soul, after the body dies and the soul is gone, then the soul has to think about all of this. Now, when the soul has a body, it's here in this earth. When the body is gone, the body is died, where will the soul be? When a soul dies, it's not going to have a rebirth immediately. There has to be a certain time where it has to think, look back at the previous birth, think what it was, and it needs the higher powers to guide, to talk, to tell them, to guide, and then decide about the next birth. It takes time. So in that time, this soul, it creates a place, a world for itself. Okay? If the soul is predominantly a good soul, then that world or that place that this soul creates for itself will be heaven for the soul. If it's a bad person, a bad soul, predominantly bad soul, then that world which it creates for it will be hell. This is what we believe in. And when the soul has learnt with the guidance from Almighty, from the superior power, what has to be done, till then, it learns all that has to be done, and then it takes birth again. Then what happens? This heaven or hell that it created is gone. When I first heard this or read this, it was difficult for me to understand. A soul is creating a world that's heaven or hell. It was, how? Is it matter? Where is that hell? Where? I didn't understand until a friend kind of explained it to me in a very simple way. I'll say that to you. See, we are all constantly creating different worlds almost every day. When we sleep, when we have a sound sleep, we have dreams. In our sound sleep, we might dream of going to a temple, going to a hilltop, being in a garden, being in a beach with our friends, going to a restaurant, having good food. We have different dreams, right? We actually create that with our power or energy. We actually create those different worlds. A restaurant, a beach, whatever it is, we create all of that. And when we wake up, it's gone. So the soul creates its heaven or hell, its own world, something like this. So that little world that the soul creates for itself, it's going to be its heaven or hell, which is temporary for it till it takes its birth again. This is what is heaven or hell in Hinduism, what we believe. This is what it is. That is the fourth point. Now, we are done with what I wanted to say about Hinduism, about the Akashic records, about good karma, bad karma, Akashic records, and heaven and hell. As a last point, I want to come back to this thing which says, Teedum nandrum pirar taravara. So, you can ask me, okay, so my action is going to decide my fate. If I want to do all good things, right, earn good karma, that is up to me. All bad things, be a bad person, bad karma, that's also up to me. So if everything is in my hands, then why do I need God? Why do I need to pray to God? If this is what Hinduism says, then what's the meaning of all the gods? See, we are all born, we take birth in this world. There are different situations or scenarios which is presented to us. It depends on us what decision we make, which path we take. There's always an option. There are always at least two options that you have. The good option, we might not be able to see that. It might be very difficult. We might not want to see. We might be skeptical, but that might be the correct path. So life just throws these different situations at you. You are the person who's deciding what you have to do, what decision you make, which path you take. The right path or the other path. And for this, we pray to God. We pray to God to always be with us, to guide us, take the right path always. For God to be with us, to give us good people around us. So they are there to always guide us to do the good things, think good things, talk good things, the actions to be good, make the right decisions. So we have to pray to God to be with us and guide us in every step. That's why we pray to the Paramatma. Prayers are very important. If we are sincere, prayers are always answered. I bless all you guys with all my heart. Okay. We'll meet in our next session. Oh, I forgot the question time. Yes. This, guys, remember we talked about Akashic records? I remember seeing somewhere that there is a way when we are born in this earth as this person, there's a way to actually access the Akashic records and see what we were in our previous births. There is a way to do that, but I didn't research more on it. If you're interested, please do research, and whatever you find, please post it here so all of us can see and we can learn. Okay? Take care, guys. Bye.